Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here at ELN and our project Stay Connected. And we're happy to bring today Bill Kight right here in his backyard from the Glenwood Historical Society. And Bill, I'm really nice to be able to be connected right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's really nice to sit out here outside, and even though the weather's not like it we'd like for it to be, it's still good to be outside.
It's good to be outside, and we got our little 6-foot distance. And,
right, yep.
And it's, you know, one of the things why we're doing this is just to get outside and keep the community connected with us, even though we can't be physically connected.
Right.
So hopefully that's what we're trying to do. And the reason I'm coming to you is because a lot of things happening at the Historical Society over the years, and you becoming director. How did you become the director?
Well, that's an interesting story. I was working with the Forest Service as the public affairs officer at the Glenwood Springs office there, supervisor's office for the White River National Forest. I was ending my career, ready to retire, and I hadn't set a date yet. And when I was told that the director was thinking about moving on, I said at one of the board meetings, because I was on the board at that time, I said, well, I'd like to have the job. And they all stopped and looked at me, and I felt like the wide-mouthed frog, you know, oh, what did I say? And so, which went from there. I left the Forest Service on Friday and went to work for the museum on Monday.
But you've always been interested in history, so that doesn't surprise me that that was like your light bulb went off and said, wow, I could really devote some focused time on what's important to you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I have, of course, training in anthropology, was an archaeologist for the Bureau of Land Management and the Forest Service.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And did quite a few stints, also had a dual career in firefighting and incident management. And so I had a really good career in both the BLM and the Forest Service. Mm-hmm. And it enabled me in the training I'd had before to be, I think, a real effective director for a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. My gripe has always been, why do we call institutions, organizations that contribute to the community nonprofit? Yep. Like, is there no profit in doing it or listening to them or helping them? And it's sort of disconcerting in a way, because nonprofits really make up this valley, and there's so many important ones that serve the community. And so I wanted to be in that capacity as a public servant still, coming into a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's the Historical Society is under the umbrella of the city.
Well, no, the city contributes to the organization, $60,000 at this time a year, and from that our salaries for myself and the 2 part-time people are that really helps a lot. It doesn't do our budget. Last year was about $144,000, and so it helps a lot, but there's so much more we could do. And so I just finished a grant here a couple days ago with the city to try to get more money for the archivist, because we answer questions all the time from the public. We've gotten further behind by not having a full-time archivist, and so I wanted to try to beef up that position a little bit, because we could do so much more if we had the money.
Mm-hmm. So Bill, you write grants all the time, and you've been writing a lot of grants on your downtime here. And so tell us about a couple of those grants that you're doing.
Well, another one is with the Robert J. Young Foundation. Bob Young founded Alpine Bank, and they've been really helpful to us, and so is his foundation. We've applied for $15,000 over the next 3 years to try to document some of the folks in Glenwood Springs, men and women who've made a difference in the community, that are getting on in years, and I'm really afraid we're going to lose their legacy if we don't tell that story. And it's really an important story to tell, and you'll be part of that story, and I appreciate that, because we want it to be real and genuine, and a repository, an archive for the future, so people can understand how Glenwood Springs was built and the people that contributed to it. And that's really important for a historical society to do that.
That it is. That it is.
We've also applied for funding to be able to get all of our newspapers digitized, so people can come in and look at them, and possibly even be able to do that online. But that's another project we're in the middle of. It's just getting enough money to go in and have the people digitize those papers. I also write a column in the paper called "It's About Time" in the Glenwood Post once a month, and it's really important. And when I go and research, like I did my last column about the flu in 1918 and how that affected the community, I relied on newspapers, and we liked for people to come in that do research and write books to come in and have that available to them. So we're in the middle of that, and each time we put a little bit more money into it to try to get all that done.
Now, I know part of it is space too. I mean, you have so many great things in probably in stores that nobody's ever seen,
It's true.
And it'd be nice to somehow one day expand that and let people really see what you have in store.
That would be good. We looked at various places for a new location for about a year, and had some help doing that. And there's just no other building that would satisfy the needs we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really an obligation to take care of that building on 101, 1001 Colorado Avenue, a block south of the post office there, because it was given to the society by the shoemates, and it needs to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently applied for and got a grant from the Colorado Historic Society and the Colorado Historic Fund that comes from gaming money in Colorado. We have a grant that we're in the process of still working on to assess the historic condition of that building, so we'll know how to go to the public with a capital campaign and say this is what we really need to do to bring this house back to a semblance of its original glory. Like I say, we owe it to the community for that, because it's part of the community. It's on the local landmark register. It's a valuable asset in the community.
Mm-hmm. That is one part of it, but you actually do things outside of the four walls of of 1101.
Right, 1001 Colorado Avenue.
Because you have things in the community that the Doc Holiday.
Right.
Tell us about some of those other things that you go outside of into the community to raise awareness. We
have a satellite location in the basement of Bullock's store downtown at 8th and Grand. And they've been really good to us to allow us a place to really bring to life the part of history that Doc Holliday participated in Glenwood. And that was only really 6 months that he was in Glenwood where he died. He came in May of 1887 and died in November of 1887. So that also exhibits the purchase of a controversial gun that we bought, the Historical Society bought. And we have other things. We have an agreement with the Hotel Colorado where we have ghosts. We call them ghosts. They dress up and give tours, an hour tour of the hotel. That's a good partnership. And then those ghosts are also present for the annual ghost walk that we conduct. This last year in 2019 was the first time we had done it. We had a hiatus, so we hadn't done it for a year, but it was sold out again, and it's in usually the second to the last weekend of October, around Halloween, of course, to try to get a little bit more interest in it. And it really is a way for a history to be brought alive. People standing at the graves of the characters they portray and obtaining the information about those characters from the Historical Society and constructing a script is a lot of fun. I've done Jasper Ward for a number of years, and it's just a way the people enjoy of learning about the local history. And we have a lot of people from out of town that come in during that shoulder season. They stay in motels, they dine out, and really enjoy Glenwood during that time.
Yeah, that is I've heard everybody comes from Denver for that, and it's really a good time, and the community comes together, and there are a lot of volunteers, isn't there, for that?
There is. It takes about 58 volunteers to pull that off for the 2 or 3 weekends we have it in October.
So what are some of the things that you really would love to see happen while you're at the, is you got these real projects that you'd love to see come to fruition?
I would see a number of things happen if we could do them, and one is to put the John Schutte collection of photographs that we have as part of a fundraiser and frame some of those beautiful prints, auction them off, and show people the heritage in Glenwood Springs that we have that we're really lucky to have. He was a great photographer. he was the postmaster in Glenwood for a while, and his grandson Terry Wilson just retired from being chief of police here less than a year ago. So it's a deep-rooted history. He was a great photographer. I'd love to bring that out into the open more, provide people to buy those prints online. That's another goal, to get our website up and running a little bit better. That's one of the things I'd really love to do. I'd love to have people in the summer dressed in outfits all over Glenwood.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You know, and we do have historic tours of Glenwood Springs and of the cemetery for groups at a reasonable cost. So that's something that we're looking forward to do this summer. Now we're kind of in a position where we just have to wait and see where this pandemic goes.
Right. So I guess since you said the word, what's going on with right now? You're closed?
We're closed. We saw what was coming and closed the museum because our volunteers there are generally a lot older. They're retired.
Right.
They enjoy being there. The last thing I wanted to do was expose them to this virus. And so we've closed it down. We're working from home. I just finished that grant, like I said, here at the house. And Sharon, our Howler, is one of our board members and also is the person that takes care of all the volunteers. And then we have Sarah Francis, who's the archivist. And so we've all started working at home, and that helps a lot because there are things that we can do that are important that need doing.
Yeah, there's probably, you found yourself actually catching up on stuff from things that you could have done when you
Right. Oh yeah.
And then you find things that you at home that you can actually concentrate on.
Right. And it's been really nice because my wife Kate Collins is working at home too, so we balance the time we need the home computer, and we've really enjoyed the last 2 weeks being together. It's haven't been together for this long a period of time, and it's been good for us. You know, a lot of people probably get upset and start arguing and stuff, but we haven't. We just really enjoyed this time together and being very careful. You know, it's really important that we all adhere to the conditions that we're under so that we might be able to see this thing level out and get a handle on it because it's really a very contagious virus.
It is, and just thinking about that, and we just had a little chuckle about it, but you know, they say 60 to 80 or whatever, 80, you know, that age, but you know, I'm 60. I mean, I'm past 60. I mean, there's a lot of everybody I know is past 60. So it's like we're all in that part, you know. So we have to have that kind of respect for each other, and this was nice to be back here. You know, the fresh air is blowing between us.
Very nice. We love this little spot here. Kate has a garden of flowers and really takes care of the place because it's our retreat. It's our sanctuary back here in the backyard.
You can be a member.
Absolutely. It's easy to be a member. You go online at glenwoodhistory.com. We've made it real simple. You can have enduring memberships like I do and a lot of people. It just comes out of your account every month. Or you can start out at $30. You know, it's really easy to become a member. Just get online and follow the instructions there, and you too can be a part of this.
And then as you're a member, what does that entail, or what does that include? Or
you have access to the archives without a charge at all.
Nice.
There's a lot of times that people will come in as a member and want a few photographs, and we're not going to charge them for that. You know, they can come to the historical ghost walk as well at a reduced price, and so there are a lot of benefits that can come from just joining as a regular $30 member.
Well, you know, one of the things when you talked about the idea of documenting the older generation, I always thought it was important that we do that so that we can put that and package it so the local schools can actually have a historical day where they can learn about their community and their own history here.
Right, exactly.
It just seems like we learn about all this world history, but what about right here and how important it is in your backyard and how it connects to maybe your family? Right,
absolutely. So in all of us, you know, a lot of times people think of history as being those people, movers and shakers. Well, all of us are movers and shakers in one way or another.
Right.
We all have a story to tell, and it's important that that story be told.
Yeah. Okay, so then give us your website again and how
it's glenwoodhistory.com, and you can go front page. You can click on how to become a member, and we've made it real easy. We just recently were able, with Alpine Bank's help, to get that done online, and so we're real proud of that. So we ask you to become a member and help preserve local history.
Very good. So is there anything else you'd like to have to input about the Historical Society?
I don't know so much about the Historical Society at this point, because what really has impressed me is the neighbors here where I live. We've all been talking with each other at the respected distance. Anything we can do, is there something you need? And I think that's bringing out the best in people, being able to offer help to neighbors,
Right.
Because we're all in this together.
Right. And if there's any information that comes up during these next few weeks, I want you to come back on
Okay.
and let us know about that, so we can let people know. And what I love about this is people that don't know you will know you now.
Right.
And I really think that's important for at this time when you can't be out and about and walk through your door.
Right.
At least when they walk through your door the next time, they're going to say, "Oh, I remember you, Bill."
Well, thanks. I thought this was really important to do. I appreciate you doing it, and I might add one thing. We had what we were going to call a casino night, sort of, where people could come in and play the old-timey card games, and
Right.
and have a lot of fun. And we had worked out arrangements with the Hotel Colorado for that, and of course now they're closed, and they've been really good about helping, because they're historical. They have, and the owners, the Melvilles, have been really great, and the general manager, Chris Heaney, has been. And it just, we hate it, but we have to, like everybody else, put that into the future sometime. We haven't even been able to reschedule it, but we like to have those kind of special events to connect with the city,
Right.
and with our local people that support us. And we're looking forward to doing that here soon.
Yeah, and the special events that you would put together would probably be pretty creative, because
Well, they're fun.
Bringing those generations together, I think, is
Yeah.
pretty cool to be able to do. So.
It's nice to be able to afford to be able to do that for the city, because it's important to us to stay connected and bring history alive.
Cool. Well, thanks, Bill.
You're
for
welcome.
joining us, and thank you guys for joining us. And please stay tuned as we go through the community and we talk to everyone and see what's going on at this time in our lives. So stay tuned. See you again.